Hi everybody. Today what we're talking about is blood sugar, and we're going to talk about how that affects things like mitochondria, how it affects energy and overall health. And so if we think about blood sugar, this was like this line represents the normal levels of blood sugar. When you eat things like sugar, what it's going to do is it's going to spike your blood sugar levels. And when that happens, if it continues to rise, it puts your body in a very unsafe state, specifically cells like nerves, cells like eyes, kidneys, and that's why these areas tend to have problems with diabetics. And so that number spikes. And when the blood sugar starts to spike, your body releases a hormone called insulin, because the insulin is going to help get the blood sugar out of the body to protect you. And so insulin is made by the pancreas to protect you. And so insulin, what that will do is when insulin comes into the picture, it will help to lower the blood sugar. But what happens is it starts to lower it so much that you get below what would be a normal level of blood sugar. And this is when you start to feel tired and fatigued and crabby. And then you tend to want to eat more food, and the blood sugar levels go up, and then insulin has to come in, and then you come down. And you get into this vicious cycle of I need to eat, or I'm fatigued, I'm mentally stressed, I need to eat, and then now I'm tired. Now I don't have any energy. And it's just this up and down in this yo-yo. It's extremely hard on your cells, your organs, your liver, your pancreas, and it's hard on your body. And so when and specifically your hormones as well, and it creates hormonal imbalances. And so what we want to talk about is how do you start to balance this out so that you have more energy. One of the things that really helps is an organelle. It's a small, almost like an organ of your cell called mitochondria. And mitochondria is what creates energy in the body. And when you have a lot of mitochondria, it actually helps for brain health, it actually helps your body utilize energy, but it also helps you to regulate hormones and regulate blood sugar. And so a person that's going to have a lot of mitochondria is a very active person. But what they're finding is in type 2 diabetics, they tend to have very low levels of mitochondria. And so there's a couple things that have to happen for you to increase your mitochondria and for you to balance your hormones. And so one is the foods that you eat. And so foods like fats, proteins, and fibers are very important to have at every meal, so that when you're not yo-yoing with your blood sugar levels, that it's more stable. And when it's stable, you feel great all day long, you have good energy, but you can lose weight and have great health. And so you want your good healthy fats. That's your grass-fed meats, that's your coconut oils, that's your nuts and seeds. In the Nutrition Plans book, there's a whole page on good fats. Proteins, same thing. It's your grass-fed meats are good sources of proteins as well. Free-range eggs are good sources of proteins, but you want good fats, good proteins, and the other thing is fiber. Fiber is really important so that when you're digesting food, it's not so up and down. And the best source of fiber are your vegetables, your nuts and your seeds, and your berries. So that's what you want, is your fats, your proteins, and your fibers. There's another nutrient called chromium, and chromium also helps to balance your blood sugar levels or keep it more even keel. And chromium is found in a lot of foods, but not very high levels in most foods. So the food that you want to eat, the vegetable that you want to eat that has a high levels of chromium is broccoli. So if you're eating broccoli consistently through the day, again, you'll have more even keel levels of blood sugar. So those are the foods, but that's only half the battle. So that's the food is one half. The other half is movement and exercise. And the best way to exercise to increase your mitochondria and to balance hormones is max T3. So what they're finding are these surge exercises, these burst exercises are key for balancing hormones and increasing mitochondria. The other thing are exercises like weight training. When you're struggling with blood sugar and when you're struggling with fatigue, things like cardio, running long distances, actually don't help as much as what you would think they would. They actually can create more of a problem. So it's a good time to pull back and do more burst and surge training, like max T3, do more weight training. Things like yoga, Pilates, those are also helpful as well in a scenario like this. So this is what you want to focus on: your fats, your proteins, your fiber. You want to focus on broccoli to get chromium in your diet and consistently doing max T3. Where you start is 3 times a week. You want to start 3 times a week, but ideally you work up that you're doing it 6 times a week, that almost every day you're doing some sort of burst or surge. And when you get that routine and that consistency, you're going to have a better result. So I hope this helps. Put it into action and ask us questions along the way.